Hello, welcome to Aviation 101 with Laura. Back with this popular series about preparing for your aircraft dispatcher oral exam. And it's part 2 of my coverage of task D, weather-related hazards. So, if you haven't watched the other ones, go back and watch those because they've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I think that with studying, you will see that weather is so important for you to know as an aircraft dispatcher. So that, brings me to check out my other playlist. I have a playlist course that's all about weather theory. So if you are, watching this and just trying to check off, do I know how to answer these specific questions that she's asking? That's not enough. You actually need to really dive into weather theory and understand it. And hopefully your dispatch training program is providing that to you, or you have that from other means of study. The other thing I just want to say again is with the channel memberships, they have been taking off. I think I have 7 or 8 members, which is amazing. Thank you guys for supporting me. You know who you are. And, if you want to shout out, reach out to me and I will put your name on the video somehow or something. But I am excited about those. If you want to sign up, there's a link in the video description. And we are coming up eventually on the next Monday members only meetup. And that's a live stream where you can, just for members, and you can log in and ask questions. And then I release that content publicly later. But yeah, so on to this topic, task D. The last one I made in this series was with a specific flight scenario. This time I want to talk about some specific questions, just the theory behind these areas that the FAA has got in the FAA Aircraft Dispatcher Practical Test Standards. So without further ado, let's get started with talking about crosswinds and gusts. What are some conditions where you would expect there to be strong gusts as an aircraft dispatcher? Okay, let's talk about crosswinds. Why are crosswinds potentially hazardous for aircraft operations? Okay, so what is your aircraft's crosswind limitation? Okay, you said the max crosswind component for a 737-300 on a dry runway is 35 knots. Why is it different on a wet runway? And what is it? Okay, so a contaminated runway. How would you know that there was a contaminated runway at your destination? So let's talk about surface visibility restrictions. Why is that a concern for us in air carrier operations? Okay, what are some common restrictions to surface visibility? Okay, let's talk about turbulence. What causes turbulence? So what's wind shear then? What is icing on aircraft and what causes that? Okay, so when you're talking about icing, how would you even know as an aircraft dispatcher? So how does our aircraft avoid icing? So thunderstorms, what are the stages of development of a thunderstorm? We talked before about, why thunderstorms are hazardous to aircraft, but, you mentioned before things about wind. How is that involved? What is a microburst? I've heard of that related to thunderstorms. Okay, so what do we do for this wind shear worry and microburst thing? What do crews do about that? Tornadoes, what's concerning about tornadoes? Okay, what is a hurricane and how do those form? Okay, so what is the difference with the hurricane and a typhoon? Okay, and lastly, volcanic ash. We talked about volcanic eruptions, how you would know they're happening, but why is volcanic ash a problem for aircraft operations? So how do you avoid this kind of thing? Okay, so covered a bunch of different weather-related hazards. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Next video when it comes out is going to be all about aircraft systems. I'm definitely going to be doing multiple videos about this because, yeah, commonly asked questions. And then eventually, there's so many areas on here. It just keeps going and going. So I don't know how many is going to be in that series, but stay tuned. Thank you for watching Aviation 101 with Laura. Don't forget to subscribe, consider being a channel member, comment, and share with your friends who would use this content. because I love growing the channel. Have a great day.